Another part of value is this concept of utility. Utility is the condition of being useful. It's also the lowest grade of beef, but let's stick with the first one. This is something that makes me excited about marketing, and this is why I like marketing, is marketing creates usefulness. We create utility. The world is a better place because of what we do. And from a marketing perspective, utility is just simply the usefulness, and we'll talk about value, but value is more than just the usefulness or benefit that a customer receives from using the product. People aren't going to buy your product unless there's something in it for them. Customers are selfish. There are 4 basic kinds of utility, and I have them listed here. And you're thinking, I've heard that marketers don't do math, but professor, there are 6 up there. 6 is not 4. You got to use 2 hands for this one. So typically we usually talk about form, place, time, and possession utility. As an example, anybody here drink coffee? Okay, who uses a cup? Okay, who uses a cup? Okay, that's form utility. Is in order to benefit from the coffee, I probably don't pour it directly from the pot into my mouth. I have a cup. Who stops by a Starbucks on the way to work or on the way home from work to grab a cup of coffee? Who makes it at home? Well, you guys, once you get rich after taking this class, you'll be able to stop by Starbucks. Who drives 5 miles out of their way to get a cup of coffee? Yeah, don't tell me that. I see you got bargain water. You're not driving 5 miles out of your way to get coffee. Oh, okay, I'll drive 5 miles out of my way, just like me. I'll drive 5 miles out of my way to save 10 cents on coffee. Because I am a smart shopper. But again, so it's important to have coffee convenient to you, so it's really unusual for me to go out of the way. I'll either buy it on the way to work, on the way home to work, where I leave, make it at home, but rarely am I going to cross a bridge to get a cup of coffee. That's place utility. Time utility. Who drinks it at midnight? You're students, so it's okay to say yes to this one. Once you get jobs. Who drinks it in the morning? Okay, so this is time utility. Coffee is better in the morning than it is in the afternoon, so if I'm trying to create value, having coffee available near where you have it when you want it is great. And the last one is possession utility. Who likes to share their coffee? I'm one of those people that does not like sharing things at restaurants. It drives me crazy. Let me have a bite of yours, you have a bite of yours. Well, here, let's share our soda. Let me have a lick of yours. But possession utility is just pride of ownership. A collector is too generous a term for what I am. I'm an accumulator. But I take pride in possession, and I got a whole wall of, starting with VHS and then DVDs and then Blu-rays, and it's really hard to display downloads, but I'll figure out a way. I guess on my screen, but then I can just look at the wall and see, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt just smiling down at me, and I can say, hey guys, maybe I'll see you later tonight. But I get value, I get a benefit out of owning, being able to have possession control. Those are the ones that people normally talk about, and the reason that I put down 6 when I said 4 is I want you to understand that a lot of what we talk about in class is well known and widely understood, and a lot of the stuff that we talk about in class is a starting point for a conversation, not necessarily the gospel truth. And this is a good example, is there's lots of utilities other than just the 4 that we've talked about. Some of the other common ones are information utility. In today's age, if I know more than you do, that gives me a perceived benefit, right? Did anybody here like to know something that other people don't so that they have to come to you for advice or answers? Yeah, it's the opposite of looking stupid. It's looking smart. We like that. And image utility, again, getting into the social consumption, how we appear to others is an important element of what we get out of the products that we buy and the services that we use. So the good news is we create utility. We start out with nothing and ta-da, you have value. Okay, so another issue related utility is this concept of features versus benefits. And this one we'll talk about a lot. A feature is, I'm going to use a term here that we'll use throughout this semester. It's called an attribute, and an attribute is just something that you can talk about. And a feature is an attribute or something about the product. You as the manufacturer, you as the creator, determine what the features are in your product. Okay? A benefit is the value that the customer sees in your offering, and there's a difference between features and benefits. Customers, you've heard the saying, the customer's always right. This is where this comes from. Customers determine value, and customers are very selfish. I have a term, I think. I call it the stupid customer syndrome. Where we put the best features into our product, but our customers are too stupid to understand it. So the problem is not that our product isn't providing a benefit to our customers. The problem is that we have stupid customers. And if our customers were smarter, they would buy our product. And what's the solution to stupid customers? Warning labels, well, different kind of stupid, but yeah. So how do you fix stupid customers?
By dumbing down the.
Say again?
By dumbing down the way you advertise.
Advertising, right. You need to educate them about the value of your product because they're too stupid to see it, right? We would argue from marketers that customers are not stupid. That customers are selfish. They don't care how hard you worked. All they care about what's in it for them. So if they see a benefit, then there's value in what you're offering, and they don't. My favorite example of this is your typical remote control for a television. If anybody still uses a television, I'm old. Did you notice that? Gray hair? Ty, that's older than most of you. But what do you see on a typical remote control? By the way, what color is it? Black. What color are the buttons? Gray. If you get an expensive one, black. Okay. So that's really helpful in the dark. And then how many buttons are on there? Oh, between 20 and 150. And how many buttons do you use? Well, there's on, off, channel up, channel down, volume up, volume down, and maybe the keypad, right? What are all those other buttons for? But somebody put them in there. Look we got a lot of buttons. Buy my remote. And actually you can get overkill. You can have so many choices that customers get confused, frustrated, and choose not to buy your product. So again, those are all features that are built into their remote control, but my benefit only comes from 2 or 3 of them. And if I can't find the 2 or 3 of them, or if you make me work for it, did I mention customers are lazy as well as selfish? They're not going to buy it. So the best example that I've ever heard of this, and I forgot the source, but I think I put it in the book, is definition of feature versus benefit, is I have here a drill bit. You as a manufacturer are selling drill bits, but what are your customers buying? Are they buying drill bits? Yeah, good, you're smart. You know that I'll trip you up in class. What are they buying? Say again?
Possibility of oil.
The possibility of oil. You are way ahead of me. That's why they buy them, but what are they buying?
So they can put holes in things?
Yeah, you're buying the ability to make holes. Okay, we call it a drill bit, and then I can talk about diamond tips, and I can talk, remember we talked about this needs versus wants thing? I can talk about diamond and carbide, and as long as the features that I put in it relate to the ability to make holes, then I probably am adding value to it because the benefit is the ability to make holes. But if I start talking about things that are unrelated to what the customer wants, one of my favorite examples of this is I was up late night watching television one night. I'm a child of the 70s. Television is very important to me. And there was a commercial for a pain reliever, like an aspirin type product. And the claim was, it's blue. So when I have a headache, what I'm looking for is something that's blue. Well, yes, it distinguishes it from the other products, but color doesn't matter. So it's again, it's an unrelated feature. So the fact that your product is blue tells me, one, that you have no clue as to what I really want with a pain reliever. And perhaps, had you said it has a blue coating that dissolves faster, so it will solve your headache faster, now maybe we can talk, because you understand, again, this needs versus wants. Your features need to relate to what it is that customers want. Otherwise, you're wasting time and money. And we'll talk a little bit about that again when we talk about positioning. So the point, value is a function, and I have seen different discussions as to whether this is a multiplicative function, an exponential function, an additive function. I'm not going to, get in there, but let's just say that value is the relationship between the benefits received from the product less the costs of acquiring that product. So benefits utility customers receive, costs are the financial and non-financial sacrifices. Doesn't have to be just money that the customer makes in order to complete the transaction. But wait, perception is everything. It's not the benefit that the customer receives minus the costs of acquiring that benefit. It's the perceived value that a customer receives. I have here an example, shoes. Who here likes shopping for shoes? Who here does not like shopping for shoes? Okay, I'm really surprised. Normally I would expect to see a gender difference, and I've got a nice mix here. That speaks well to the city. So for the people for whom shopping they enjoy, the act of shopping is part of the benefit. It's part of the value they get from the shoes, right? And I have colleagues that do research on sport shoppers. And it's like, it's the hunt, and being able to tell the story of how I got 75% off on this is one of the things. So for some people, the act of shopping for the shoe goes on the benefit side of the equation. For other people who don't like shopping for shoes, the act of shopping is a cost, because I would rather be playing video games at home. And so the idea is it's totally a perception thing. If I value shoe shopping, then shopping for shoes is part of the benefit, and I will value shoes more highly than somebody who doesn't like shopping for shoes, for whom the cost, we are going non-lingual. And then that leads to satisfaction, and satisfaction is simply, did the benefit that the customer got from the product meet or exceed their expectations?